Welcome to Threshold, a place where we explore the sacred in the ordinary and the beauty in the in-between. I'm Molly Wilcox. I'm a wife, a mom, a writer, and your guide as we step over life's thresholds together. Whether you've been reading my newsletter for years or you're just discovering Threshold here, I'm so glad that you're listening. Together, we reflect on faith, creativity, and the small but meaningful ways we're being transformed in the everyday. Let's dive into this week's reflection. When I think of my 20s, I mostly think of it like a love story. It feels romantic to me. Maybe because my husband and I were dating at age 20 and married by 22. Those years were spent studying with coffee cups for college exams late into the night and lingering in doorways for too long to say goodnight. When we got married, we were off to our little mountain town in the high Rockies to start our life together. Life there was not easy. We needed to drive 2 hours away just to get an oil change in our one shared car, and we were barely making ends meet. But we had season ski passes, and we would watch moose trample fresh snow in the national forest that was our backyard. There, I started to realize I didn't feel like the traditional office job setting was for me, and I started to wonder if I needed a more entrepreneurial path. We rode our bikes to our favorite donut shop and didn't have any friends aside from each other. We also started to feel the pull to somewhere new again, both knowing that we were on an adventure and we weren't sure where it would take us next. When we moved to Middle Tennessee at 23, we felt the spirit saying it was where we would put down roots. It seemed a little wild to hear that at the time because I was jobless, my husband had taken a pay cut for us to make the move, and we were sitting on folding camp chairs eating pizza in our new apartment because we didn't own any furniture. But sure enough, at 25, we took a photo in front of our little yellow fixer-upper dangling house keys and realizing Tennessee really had become home for both of us. Our little golden doodle ran wild in the backyard where I started my flower garden. My first copy of my own first published book showed up in a box on the doorstep of that house at 26. I stacked it on top of multiple other published books I was a contributing author for. Dreams were coming true. When we were 27, we rearranged all of the furniture in our living room for Christmas morning and spent our first Christmas alone in our home, just the two of us. We wore matching pajamas and drank hot chocolate, curled up on the couch together reading books. On New Year's Day, I wiped happy tears from my husband's face while I triumphantly displayed a positive pregnancy test. The next morning, we went to our favorite breakfast spot and ate pancakes and bacon, whispering about baby names back and forth. We returned to that same breakfast spot with a newborn in the fall. I wore a maternity dress over my belly band, covering my fresh C-section scar. We smiled and ate while our tiny baby, fresh out of the NICU, slept in his car seat. I rocked our newborn in my new tan sweatpants set while my husband sang happy birthday to a tired new mom who was just turning 28. At 29, I was a confident toddler mom. I host about 15 other moms in my house every week. I'm a published author, and I still choose to write a weekly newsletter on Substack. My husband has his dream job. He works with amazing people, serves the most incredible clients, and most importantly, is confident what he is doing is what God has called him to do. I feel that way about my everyday too. I start to wear 2 birth flowers on my necklace at 29, one for my precious son and one for the sweet baby I said goodbye to in this life far too soon. I've learned to stop asking God why, but first I ask him why thousands of times. And the future feels uncertain. But when I look back on my 20s, it really feels like a love story, and I think that's because it is. Not just the love between my husband, my babies, and I, but between a good and loving God, who never left me, never forgot me, and delights in giving good gifts. Some of those gifts have been unexpected. Some have been exactly what I have pictured. I have learned a lot about loss and resilience, and I've had to endure a great deal of pain. But I feel certain going into my 30s that it is not for nothing. So here's to another decade of love stories between me and my family, me and my friends, and most of all, me and the God who has never left. I think I'll keep my rose-colored glasses on for a little bit longer. I like the view of life this way. Thanks for spending time with me today on Threshold. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, subscribe, or leave a review. It all helps so much. And if you're not already part of the community, you can join the conversation by subscribing to my weekly newsletter on Substack, Threshold by mollywilcox.substack.com. Until next time, let's keep finding beauty in the in-between.